Thank you to everyone joining us today as we celebrate Black History Month and announce a new partnership between two organizations, LISC and the African American Alliance of CDFI CEOs. We will refer to them as the Alliance moving forward. I have the pleasure to introduce you to two passionate and fearless leaders, Lenwood Long Sr., President and CEO of the Alliance, and Denise Scott, President of LISC. Today, we're going to be talking about why these two national organizations have joined together to create opportunities for the next generations of leaders in the CDFI industry. As Denise has often said, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. So what if we could bridge that opportunity gap? What if we could help break down the barriers that keep bright, energetic young people from reaching their full potential? For both LISC and the Alliance, that question is at the heart of so much of our work. Both Denise and Lenwood are uniquely qualified to talk about these issues. Denise has spent more than 40 years in community development in both the public and nonprofit sectors, including more than 20 years at LISC. I think one of the most commendable accolades I can say in researching you, Denise, was the time that you spent on the New York Federal Reserve, serving 3 years as the chair. Lenwood, who is the president and the CEO and the co-founder of the African American Alliance of CDFI CEOs, with more than 30 years of experience in the community development field, has experience in human resources and business management. And Lenwood, when I think about you, I think about the old African proverb that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So in researching the both of you, I was just in awe, of course, with all of your accomplishments. And I began to look at the dollars and I say they have contributed millions into the economic ecosystem. But then after I researched more and more, I said they have billions of dollars of contributions. So just want you to know that I am a huge fan of the work. So just to be clear, for those new to the field, CDFI stands for Community Development Financial Institutions. Essentially, CDFIs like LISC and the more than 80 organizations the Alliance represents are mission-driven financial organizations focused on the needs of historically underserved people, businesses, and communities. So Denise, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about the National HBCU Talent Development Program, what it is and why it's so important?
Well, first of all, thank you, Anikka, and I'm sure Lenwood and I would both love to have you introducing us all the time. So thank you for that. It's really what you said. Talent, we know, is everywhere. And opportunity actually is too. It's just that they're not matched up. And oftentimes there are barriers to getting into the kind of job that can lead to careers. And oftentimes, even when the barriers are not quite there, but if you don't know that the opportunity exists, then that becomes a barrier in a way. So what we're hoping to do through this partnership with HBCU students is to open doors and shed some light into a career path opportunity for many of them. Our hope is that in the field of community development and economic development, that these young folks will see this as a career opportunity, that there are so many ways that you can get there. The pathway, you can major in almost anything, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, and still end up in the field of community development. So we really want to build a diverse talent bench. We want to increase the BIPOC talent in the industry at large and really attract talent that has the lived experience of the neighborhoods that we're serving. So we think that HBCU students are just a great talent bench for us to pull from.
Thank you. Thank you. Lenwood, this is the first collaboration between the Alliance and LISC. Why did you think this program in particular was important for your organization and your members?
Well, thank you so much. And let me share the same voice of my friend Denise was saying that I want you to introduce me every time I speak, right? It's good. But to your point, we are ecstatic about this partnership. It is a first formal one with LISC, who, by the way, is a member of the Alliance. But I think it takes on increased value and increased joy to know that we are doing something that's going to help future generations, right? That I see this as trailblazing in a number of ways that not only help our members to get some great talent. And if I could pause just 5 seconds and say that I am a fan of one HBCU because I'm a graduate of HBCU, but it put me on memory lane, and that memory lane was my internship placed me on a career path. And so with that being said, I think that one of the things that Denise mentioned, which I think is very important, that you look at it more than just an internship, right? And you look at it in terms of what it might mean for your career. And in terms of our members, I think one, HBCU talented, gifted, will bring just an inordinate amount of energy and brilliance to their workforce. So we're excited about it.
Fantastic. And so just kind of want to stick with you for a second here. And you talked about the importance of your internship.
Sure.
Could you kind of talk to us about how linking these HBCU students to mentors is going to have, what impact that's going to have and what that's going to ultimately mean to our field of study?
Sure. And so when I look at mentorship, right, and when I look at the value that it brings to those who are, say, entering in a new area, you mentioned CDFI, and many would say, what is a CDFI, right?
Yeah.
But to have someone, I understand the value of that because I had a mentor during my internship that helped guided me in those areas where you feel uncomfortable because it is new. It is an industry that I'm not familiar with, but that mentor can give this nurturing assurance that, hey, this is for me, right? This is of value, and this is a path that will allow me to make decisions in terms of where I want to go in the future.
Fantastic. I see you shaking your head, Denise. Did you have anything you wanted to add as well?
No, I totally agree. And, our industry is, in terms of programmatic focus, is so diverse. It could be housing, it could be economic development, it could be food insecurity, safety, housing, childcare, sports, recreation. I could go on. And so you could be in school, and think that I want to pursue a career in almost any one of those educational paths and still end up at an HBCU. You could be a lawyer, and many lawyers, as you know, work at LISC. So you can really choose the academic training that is of interest to you and then use that academic training to assist. I think assisting communities. One of the things that perhaps is not as much known is the fact that in community development, we're focused on the social environment, the built environment, the economic environment of communities. And so you'll never look at the world quite the same when you work in community development, because you become an influencer. So it's not only just a career path it's not just a job, it really truly is a career path. And most of the time, I believe, I think the three of us here certainly share a lived experience that we bring to the table that really helps us in our work. And that's another reason why we think HBCU students will be particularly satisfied in a career with CDFIs. But also, so it's a both end. They're bringing something to the table, who they are and the communities that they come from, and that lived experience shared in the work that we do in community development, I think is what will make all the difference in the world. We will enrich the field of community development with these students as we are giving them an opportunity.
Okay, so you really just kind of went into the next question.
Oh, okay.
Next question was really talking about the HBCU connection and why going to HBCUs is so important. So, you kind of told us that they will have the lived experience, but would you like to go in for a little bit more details on just why HBCUs?
I unlike Lenwood, I didn't get a chance. I didn't go to an HBCU, but my brother did. So I've been living through him all these many years, envious of the relationship that these students have to each other for their entire life. I mean, my brother came out of school many decades ago, and yet that HBCU community from Lincoln continues to be part of his family. And so I think coming into the field of community development, an industry that I think will be welcoming, you are able to bring a lot of that experience along with what you're going to learn when you come here. But I think it's really important that we are taking charge of building leadership in our communities from within the community. And that is all the more reason why this particular group of students, I think, has something significant, to offer. So I'm hopeful. I have seen in the few interns that we have started with, a few already, and they haven't been in the internship program, just started in September. And there's already a couple who have said, maybe I should change my major. Maybe this is a career I want to consider. My brother had an internship program that he was running, and he said that of 15 students, about 30% of them ultimately chose this field. So, that's not an insignificant number. We hope to get more encouraged, but the idea that people didn't know anything about community development, did an internship, and it changed their mind and opened up their thoughts about this type of work is significant. So, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the time when I'm watching TV or I'm reading and I see an intern that has went through this process having some major accomplishment. I think that's what we'll see eventually.
Exactly.
So we do have a time constraint, Lenwood. So I know you could probably talk about the next question all day long, but just joking. But the next question is, what are your thoughts about HBCUs and the relationship? How do HBCUs add special value?
Well, let me piggyback on something that Denise said as I drill into that. And that was, it caught me when she said that a couple of interns have said, perhaps I might need to change my major, right? Mm-hmm. What that really tells you that those interns sort of grasped and found that this is an opportunity to help communities build and develop. And it's a shared passion that they get from those who work around every day and the energy and glow. So I do think that when interns get into this field, if they have this passion about helping communities, that they will want to think about, how do I continue in this? The other piece in terms of the connection, for me, HBCUs are very special, right? And often we can talk about the billions of dollars of economic impact they have. While that's important, it is not as important for me as the value, right, that HBCU bring in this kind of collaborative, because oftentimes they're forgotten, right? And so we're taking the forgotten, the best and the brightest, I'm gonna brag about it, yeah, the best and the brightest, not at Harvard, not at North Carolina State, not at Kentucky University, not at those places, but HBCU produces some of the best minds and some of the greatest impact and contribution to America than any other institution. I put them against any institution. And I do think the value of this connection will, one, allow them to be positioned to make the kind of career choices that Denise talked about. But two, more important, that connection will not only allow them to use their talents and skills, but I'm gonna go on the limb and say they will also help bring increased values to the organization in which they have been placed to work. And why do I say that? They bring energy, they bring gifts and talents. And I think when you combine that and look at all the contributions that they can make, and not only learning and expanding their own horizon, but I'm just excited about the potential of this horizon. And look, there's always saying, say, if you're happy and you know it, on your face, you ought to show it. Well, my happiness is showing about this collaboration. And so I hope that got to some of the things that you wanted me. I could go on, but I know time is of essence. But you have a topic that's very dear to my heart.
Well, we knew you would bring it on home. We knew the answer was going to be there. So thank you so much. You did not disappoint. We're going to stick with you for a second here.
Sure.
And ask you to go a little bit deeper and delve into the rippling effect of this work. And by that, what kind of perspectives, experiences, and ideas do you see these interns having that will impact the field of CDFIs more broadly as they go out here and service these communities that have been under-resourced?
Yeah, so I think they bring not only the life learning experiences they have, not only the learning they have at some great universities, but they sort of combine those experiences and bring some enriched insights and perspective to the workplace that perhaps have not been brought before. Let's not forget, they're bright, right? And they're very energetic. But I cannot forget the fact that you pull from years of experience, right? And those experience covers a myriad of disappointments, ups, losses, values that they learn, and not to mention the strengths and values that they bring have been taught, the foundation set, the spirituality all around that. And you combine that total package and know when they come not only with bright knowledge, but well-grounded from life experience that covers a multitude of experiences and opportunities and learning. And so when I look at HBCUs, just based upon my own experience, when I went, I had the military experience because I was probably older than some of my teachers. Now, stay away from that oldness, but I was older than some of the teachers because I had been in the military, right? And so, but still, I had that learning life experience along with the academic experience that combined to help me shape my thinking, shape my career path, and bring value to the place that I was doing my internship. So all of those combined, I think, that to help enrich and add value to the workplace.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Denise, would you like to weigh in?
I would just add that the appreciation, sort of back to just understanding the experience that I witnessed in my family, the appreciation that students on HBCU campuses have for each other and their community environment, that's no small thing. And when you bring that to community development, you're bringing something very significant. Wow. Because you're bringing the understanding of how to care about community, about how you fit into community. And then, so if you can bring that along with the talent that that Lenwood is discussing, and along with the, just this brightness and that caring for community, like what happens, that it matters, that you're responsible for, that you accept that responsibility and you carry it in the case of my brother and his colleagues for a lifetime. That's a big deal. I'm impressed because I see the kind of work that they're doing across the country. Not all of them are in community development, but just how they interact with each other. It's the shared community. It's the understanding of it takes a village. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
If I could just add just one point to that, I think Denise make an excellent point. And in terms of what they bring with all those experiences. But I do think that the values that they bring of wanting to make a difference can be very impactful. And so many of them come into these internships with not only a lack of an understanding of CDFI, but they come with this desire to want to make a difference. And they learn that. And I at least, again, that was one of the feelings I had. I really wanted to make a difference.
Fantastic. Wonderful answers. So I want to go into kind of the challenge a little bit here. Both of you have been in the field and in the space for some time, and would like to just kind of hear your perspectives on what challenges have you seen which have sparked you to do the work that you've done in terms of knowing that HBCUs are the direction that we want to go. So, kind of talk to us a little bit about that. What problem are we trying to solve here?
Is that to
Okay,
Denise?
I'll start with you, Denise. I apologize.
Okay.
So I mean, in terms of the community development agenda, it really is about trying to find ways to change the fundamental economics of community in a much more substantial way. So we really want to see the economic needle move for families. We want to eliminate the gaps in wealth, the gaps in health outcomes, right? We want to eliminate the gaps in opportunity, and that's one of the reasons why we see HBCU internship as a pathway for that. But we are, I think what drives me, and I see it in the work that the Alliance is doing, is we're driven to make sure that the outcome for communities are substantially better, and that we can identify areas of opportunity and make sure that we're pushing opportunity into community in a way that it can be received, in a way that people can benefit. So we're really trying to deal with the issues around inclusion and equity, the issues around the dearth of resources that communities are suffering from. So I think that's really what's really strongly motivating us. But we're also motivated by developing the talent of the next generation that's going to help to make a difference in shaping the world. And Lenwood is right. We're going to see these people in all walks of life. And just to think that maybe we helped through a community development career start, that we help to shape the next leadership of this country is that would be a tremendous outcome.
Fantastic, great answer. Lenwood, would you like to share?
Denise covered it all, as she normally does, but I do think she's so right. They be more than value added to organizations in which they are placed. But I just love what I see them bringing, right? And it's not always what they get from the internship, but let's not underestimate what they bring, right? As fearful as they might be venturing out into this unknown, I want everyone listening who is a potential intern to realize they bring something, right? And that something override whatever fear they might have.
One of the things I think might be interesting to hear about, or what some of the things are that the interns are actually working on. And it runs the gamut. Right now we have, I believe, 11 interns, and they're working on everything from work linked into social media and LinkedIn, and trying to help their host focus on really up more of the sort of upskilling work that's needed with technology. And so that's an opportunity. There's intern working on home repair initiatives and affordable housing initiatives, and even one that's focused on trying to make sure we can secure heirs property preservation, where folks have gone on and left property. And this is a common issue in the communities of color where the title isn't clear. So they're working on that kind of thing. There's a couple that are focused on nonprofit development research, just really trying to find where there are more opportunities for us as a not-for-profit industry to raise money. So that's just a few. There's only 11 of them, but that's the kind of projects that they're working on. But while they're at LISC and at the Alliance and at all of the CDFIs that they are assigned to, the interns will start to get also involved in some of the aspects of work that connects directly to the community, like safety or housing or childcare. So there's pretty much, we ask people what they're interested in, since we have so many subject areas that they could focus on. So they get some choice in the assignment.
That is fantastic. And so for interns that are listening, they can see that there's a variety of ways in which their skills can be used, that they get a chance to apply what they perhaps studied academically and see how it resonates. But more importantly, I think it sort of quash a myth that internship is about paper pushing, right? Internship is about making coffee, running errands. No, these are substantive positions that help to grow your mind, help grow your skills. And back to the first point we made, it can be a career alteration, right?
Yes.
That you literally can alter your career plan. But I'm really thankful, Denise, that we have this opportunity to speak to HBCUs, the value they bring, not only economically and educationally, but positioning these young people with some learning opportunities that they have not even thought about as being possible.
Yes.
And then they get a chance to see firsthand witness around the great work that LISC and other CDFIs are doing, and especially Black-led CDFIs. I got to tell you, I have a little bias around Black-led CDFIs because I think, like HBCUs, they're not always appreciated in terms of the value they bring to education, the economy, and character development. And I think all those things will happen as we begin to develop relationship with HBCUs. And I've been fan of HBCU development beyond just the students, because I think it can be pipeline and business opportunities for CDFIs that working close to them and helping build out the economy and development that's taking place in our communities. And I know Anikka is looking at me mighty strange. So as you're saying, time is going, and this guy keep talking, and so I'm gonna shut up. I don't want to get on your bad side.
No, this has been fantastic. Honestly, it really has been.
Yeah.
This is a paid internship, right, Anikka?
Yes, it is a paid internship. They're paid.
You get paid? You get paid for this?
Absolutely. And you are working with some of the best the best people in the industries, honestly, in the different disciplines. So
Yeah.
this is a paid internship, 2 semesters, and juniors and seniors. And I wanted to just, before we close out, I had a couple more, just one more question for each of you. And so Denise, a lot of people could look at this program and say, this is necessary. Targeting HBCUs is definitely a good way to get Black talent. But could you talk to us a little bit about why the time was now, and why you took the bold step to actually make it happen? Just talk to us a little bit about that, and then also offer your parting words for us today. But I also, before you answer, want to tell you thank you, because it's this type of thought leadership that is going to transform the field. You not only are you going to be able to say, you have 40 years in the field plus, you're going to be able to say, I impacted this individual over here and that, in this field of study. So I'm going to be quiet, but I would like you to just kind of, share with us why the time was now, and then any parting words that you have before we go into questions from the audience.
As I said, I've always had been in awe of HBCUs and the students that come from them. And so over the years, I've had a number of interns that have come from HBCUs, but I've always felt like we could take this to scale, like one internship, every now and then. What's that? What we could do. And so the vision was, how do we get to scale? And the opportunity came with some resources that LISC had, and a willingness of the senior management team at LISC to support the vision to build out this program. The first dollars that we used came from LISC resources, and now we've gone out to raise money from other places. But I was just I've always wanted to be able to say that we created a pipeline, and my continuing dream is that this is just going to be a program in perpetuity, that we will continue to create this pathway between HBCUs and CDFIs.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much once again for your leadership. And Lenwood, you mentioned earlier that you are biased to the Black-led CDFIs. And so you are bringing a major component to this in terms of this collaboration, because you have the network of people who will essentially get interns and interact with them. Could you talk to us about what that means to you and why you were willing to have this partnership?
Well, first of all, I want to say this maiden to us, when I say us, to the Alliance, with a gratitude and thanks to Denise, because I think it's one thing to say that I'm going to develop this for my institution. It's another thing to say I want to do it for a broader network that not only give them opportunity to expand their talent pool, but also an opportunity to have enrichment within their workplace. And so I want to thank Denise for that. Also, I want to be just a little bit selfish and say, can I be selfish for 10 seconds? I want to be selfish for 10 seconds and say that it's always been a vision of mine to have an internship program, and I never had the resources to do it. I was caught in this one syndrome, right? I always went one. And then the blessing came with this collaboration, not only fulfillment of a dream and vision, but more importantly, allow our network to access talents and skills that they probably would not been able to do. And by the way, you did mention something that's very important, and I hope somebody got that. It's free, y'all. It doesn't cost you. It's paid for, right? You get it. Bright, intellectually strong interns with good experience, gonna bring passion, and you don't have to pay for it. But yes, you do have to pay for it by making sure that their experience is the best possible.
Exactly.
And if you can't commit to doing that, let that intern go somewhere else. And so I'm just excited about this opportunity. I'm excited and appreciate it, Denise, for this collaboration, unparalleled, right? And we want to make this a model, right? And so she's helping me advance my vision and my dream. So I'm happy.
Love it. I love it. Creating a talent development model and utilizing HBCUs to do so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the vision, and I love the fact that you had your ideas and your dreams, and then you recognize through the leadership of Denise Scott, and then you all are working together. So that's what it's all about. So thank you so much. And you kind of went into the free conversation that can segue us into how this is all possible. So this program is possible by the City Foundation and also Mackenzie Scott. Their support has helped us build out this program. So we want to say thank you to our sponsors who are helping us help our communities and change the game in the field of community and economic development. So thank you so much for that. Well, thank both of you for your contributions today. I just want to just give a couple of items, because we have people out here that are going to be interested. And so once again, thank you to everyone who helped us today and came here and joined this conversation. Thanks again, Lenwood and Denise, for your time and offering us your knowledge. If you would like to know more about this program, you can go to our LISC website at www.lisc.org or also go to the Alliance at www.aacdfi.org. So we'll make sure we make this available for you. And then also, if you want to look for the opportunities, you can go to the LISC website and go to our HBCU Special Initiatives tab. And we actually have the interns posted on our website. So right now, we currently have 3 that we are hiring for. But in April, you will see probably about 20 offerings that are out there. So we're going to encourage you to be looking if the ones that are there right now do not fit. We want you to come back the 1st of April, because there's probably going to be something there that interests you. So with that being said, just want to say thank you. Looking forward to this collaboration, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.